1:15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Niranjan Abesundara. Measures will be taken to obstruct social media networks which do not have identified owners. Another 16 Gramilladara divisions have been isolated. The most infected persons have been reported from Piliyandala and Kasbava of the Colombo district. More benefits have been provided to the people in Dharaniyagala through the Gama Samagapinada program. A Sri Lankan housemaid murdered by Ethiopian housemaid in Kuwait. In world news, violence in Jerusalem braces for Jewish Nationalist March. Media Minister Kiran Bakwala said the cabinet approval has been received to obstruct social media network which have been identified as without owners. He said there is no problem for the government to be criticised through the social media, but he questioned who will take the responsibility regarding the criticism carried out by the social media accounts without owners. Army Commander General Shavana Silva said 16 Gramilladara divisions in 8 police areas of the 5 districts have been isolated with effect from this morning. Accordingly, Gramilladara divisions of Kaluthara, Ampara, Monaragala and Ratnavara districts have been isolated. COVID-infected persons identified from the New Year cluster have increased to 29,230. The overall infected persons reported from the country stands at nearly 106,000 by this morning. More total recoveries reached 104,463. The most number of infected persons have been reported from the Colombo district. Accordingly, 755 from the Colombo district, 323 from the Gampar district, and 234 from the Kathura district have been reported. Out of that, 360 infected persons have been identified from Piliyandala and Kasbava. Meanwhile, the government has requested the Embassy of China to provide respiratory equipment, including oxygen, to Sri Lanka. Meanwhile, police media spokesman Anit Rohan has said 351 persons have been taken into custody yesterday for violating quarantine rules. He also stated special operation will be conducted in Gampaha, Kaluthara and Colombo today to nab such persons. Several villagers have been benefited from the Gama Samagapinada program of the President. Accordingly, 20 rural roads have been renovated in the Dharaniyagala area. The 9th series of the program was held at the Dikwarakanda village in Dharaniyagala. People in the area presented their problems to the President regarding the road problem. The President ordered Road Authority to take measures to develop the roads. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank introduces the Parinatha Vishrama loan scheme to honor and empower pensioners.
A Sri Lankan female who had been employed as a housemaid in Kuwait has been hacked to death by another housemaid of Ethiopian nationality. She had been murdered on April 13th and her body was repatriated to Sri Lanka last morning. 13-year-old from the Mahava area and her throat was slit. She was brought down to the Qatar Airways flight around 8:30 a.m. yesterday. Bank activities in all areas except isolated areas are functioning as usual even amidst COVID-19 pandemic. The chairman of the National Savings Bank, Keshara Javadar, said all branches of the bank are open. General Manager of the Bank of Ceylon, Sudhakar Gunasekara, said that they are dedicated to fulfill the needs of customers. All branches have been opened except the isolated areas. That was local news.
People's Bank introduces the Parinatha Vishrama loan scheme to honor and empower pensioners.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vedha Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedha Mahatmya.
A series of proposals named 21 to 21 presented by the SLFP have been discussed with the health sector. Health Minister Paithamani Arachi, senior ministers of the SLFP and officials of the health trade unions of the party participated in the discussion. They discussed regarding the recruitment of officials of the health sector under the government's 100,000 pro-employment program. Trade unions of SLFP has agreed to provide their cooperation to this program. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
On to Watchlight, several telephone numbers have been introduced to order pharmaceutical drugs to the home, considering the present corona situation in the country. For the people of Colombo, the number is 071-190-2740, 071-190-2740. For the people of Kandy, 070-190-2737, 070-190-2737. For the people of Peradeniya, 070-190-2739, 070-190-2739 have been introduced. For the people in Kurunegala, they can order their needed pharmaceutical drugs by dialing telephone number 070-171-8318, 070-171-8318. For the people of Colombo 7, the telephone number is 070-190-2742, 070-190-2742. The chairman of the Pharmaceutical Corporation, Specialist Dr. Prasanna Gunasena, said that 070-190-2737 telephone number has been given for the people of the Gampa district to order their pharmaceutical items. The telephone number once again, 070-190-2737. That came to in Watchlight. On to world news. Varanasi, Jerusalem braces for Jewish Nationalist March. Kumbh Mela pilgrims turn into super spreaders in India. EU won't renew AstraZeneca vaccine orders. Palestinians have clashed with Israeli police for a third night in Jerusalem, and there are fears of more violence later today over a planned Jewish Nationalist March in the city. The annual Jerusalem Day flag march usually sees young Zionists walk through Muslim areas. The event marks Israel's capture of East Jerusalem, home to the old city and its holy sites, in 1967. It is regarded by many Palestinians as a deliberate provocation. A former high-ranking Israeli defense official, Amos Gilad, called for the march to be cancelled or to be rerouted. When millions of devout Hindus gathered last month in the Himalayan town of Haridwar to participate in the Kumbh Mela festival, even as India battled a devastating second wave of coronavirus, many feared it could turn out to be a super spreader event. Those fears, it now seems, are coming true, with reports of Kumbh Mela returnees testing positive and possibly spreading the infection are coming to many parts of the country. When Masan Shankar Das arrived in Haridwar on 15th March to participate in the festival, cases of COVID-19 were already rising in parts of India. A European Union official in charge of procuring coronavirus vaccine says the body has not placed orders to beyond June for doses developed by British pharmaceutical giant AstraZeneca. Internal Market Commissioner Thierry Breton answered questions about the coronavirus vaccine on a French radio program yesterday. Breton said the EU did not renew the AstraZeneca order beyond June when their current contract ends. The EU launched legal action against the company in April for a breach of contract, which said AstraZeneca failed to supply COVID-19 vaccines on time. And back to the headlines of the world news. Varanasi, Jerusalem braces for Jewish Nationalist March. Kumbh Mela pilgrims turn into super spreaders in India. The EU won't renew AstraZeneca vaccine orders. On to development news. 45 schools in the southern province will be developed. This program will be implemented under the Rural Primary School Development Initiative. 13 schools have been developed with all facilities. Teachers will also be trained to teach in smart classrooms. 1 million rupees will be spent for the development activities for each school. That is development news.
Sports News is brought to you by...
When Aya bought a motorbike, he bought 2 helmets. So sweet of him. I'm sure the other one is for me.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker, super kiyanne nikang neve.
The BCCI's president, Sourav Ganguly, has indicated that the Indian team will travel to Sri Lanka for limited overs series this season. While the exact window for the series is yet unclear, Ganguly said it will consist of 3 ODIs and 5 T20s. As for the ICC's Future Tours program, India is scheduled to play 3 T20s in Sri Lanka in July. India is also due to play 3 T20s and 3 ODIs in Ireland last June, but the tour was cancelled amid the pandemic. The BCB have to navigate through a delicate period in the coming 2 weeks to hold Bangladesh-Sri Lanka ODI series later this month. Although the board officially announced the dates of the 3 matches, the country's COVID-19 rules could influence a couple of crucial factors. That was sports news.
My wife always sets a full lunch table, even if it's just the 2 of us. She always expects people to drop by, like maybe the army.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker, Super kiyanne nikan නෙවෙයි.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The World Bank launched public consultations to update systematic country diagnostic in Sri Lanka. This online platform will enable the bank to engage with Sri Lankan public and develop partners and seek their views on the most pressing development opportunities and challenges of the country. That was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news. Courtesy of
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
As Sri Lanka looks to entice foreign investors to encourage FDIs into the country, EY and HSBC collectively hosted a virtual investment forum for Chinese businesses seeking investment opportunities in Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan Ambassador to China, Dr. Partha Kahona, delivering his keynote address, stated Sri Lanka must identify strategic opportunities and market them under the concept of Sri Lanka as an investment destination and not merely as being a pearl of the Indian Ocean. That is economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department say that showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the Sabaragamuwa, Central, Western, Uva and Eastern provinces, and the Galle, Mathura, Polonnaruwa and Mullaitivu districts during the evening or night. Heavy fall of about 100 millimeters can be expected in some places in these areas. Shower thunder showers can be expected in the coastal areas of the Western and Southern provinces, particularly in the morning tomorrow. That was the weather report.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Back to the headlines of the news. Measures will be taken to obstruct social media networks which do not have identified owners. Another 16 Glamineda divisions have been isolated. The most infected persons have been reported from Piliandala and Kasbaba of the Colombo district. More benefits have been provided to the people of Darinagala through the Gamasankriyasa program. A Sri Lankan housemaid murdered by an Ethiopian housemaid in Kuwait. In world news, violence in Jerusalem braces for Jewish Nationalist March.